All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to my channel. My name is Adishawa Obisoya, and here with me is someone who I hold very dear. His name is Mr. Samuel Ojo. He's the CEO of PropUp NG, and I've invited him here today to just talk to us and walk us through his journey as an entrepreneur in Africa, especially here in Nigeria, knowing how difficult the African markets can be. So I'm going to hand over to him now. So Samuel, can you just give us a quick introduction? Tell us who you are, what you do, and then we can take it from there.
Thank you very much, Shewa, for doing this, and thank you very much for bringing me on board. I really appreciate it. I think you're doing a very important job, which is sharing founder story in Africa, which is actually quite important to inspire other people. I'm Samuel Ojo. I'm the director of Probability, one of the fastest growing real estate company here in Lagos, Nigeria. Currently, we have four site and service projects and one building project. And currently, we manage assets in like over $1 billion for clients in different part of the states here. So that's what I do majorly.
Okay, that's really nice to hear. So how did you start this business? How did you get into it? What was the journey like?
To be honest, it's how the journey like it's it's taking me back the memory lane now actually. But I started in 2023, got into real estate in 2023.
Okay.
I had as a then that was in February. That was when we registered. We got our first property in April 2023. Prior to me starting real estate, I've had my journey in other things I was trying out, and I think that was really the background of how this thing. The journey has been tough, of course. I'm not going to say it's easy, but one thing is we've stayed resilient and we've been pushing through, pushing boundaries, and we've been doing very well. So I started out in 2023 February. Prior to then, I was onboarding clients for brokers, so I was getting commission of that doing that. So I was able to leverage on digital marketing to be able to get clients for those people, and I was getting commission. So I was able to save. I met partners. I mean, I made good. I was able to get good networks of people into my system, which was real estate actually. So that's quite the summary of my journey.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you started in 2023, and prior to now, you were working, under someone, learning everything before you eventually started your own business.
Not necessarily work. I was actually by myself too. It was just sort of like I was working with others, forex brokers. Actually, I was onboarding clients for them. Then while I was getting commission doing that, so I was able to leverage on digital marketing to do that, to get commission. I mean, as at then I was being paid $200 per client I brought on board, and I
Okay.
was doing them in their tens month on month. Yeah, so it was like that basically.
Okay. So from what you're
Yeah.
saying now, you also have vast experience in digital marketing, and that's something that you've leveraged for your business.
Very true. I mean, it's one of the major amplifiers I'm really grateful for because currently we have a network of about 1,600
Okay.
that sells for us, and we have about a network of 1,600 that sells for us, and all of those people have been able to get digital marketing actually.
Okay. I'm so sorry. The lights went out over here, and so everywhere just became dark. That was why I had to switch off my camera. Hopefully, it should be back soon. I hope you don't
Yeah,
mind.
it's fine. I have the same issue, too, but mine is back now
It's
actually.
okay. Hopefully, mine will be back soon too. All right.
Yeah.
So now, looking back, is there anything you would have done differently? Anything at all?
Uh, to be honest, actually, I'm quite grateful. I think one of the things I really thought I would have done differently. That's an important question. I think one thing I would have done differently, to be honest, is I think I would have submitted to people that are way ahead of me in the journey way early. I think it would have saved me a lot of stress. Of course, I mean, people talk about mentors, people talk about how important they are. I used to feel they are not very important before, to be honest. I really felt you really don't necessarily have to be close to them to get success. I'm not saying you're not going to get success that way, but the truth is, even if you get success on that basis, more often than not, you're going to get scars. are gonna get scarce, and I really don't think it's something anybody really wants to do. So I think I would have found people I could submit to way early enough in my journey. And also, another thing I really thought I would have been is I would have been more open-minded to conversation, to what was happening around the industry, to meeting with people, because I came into the game. I never had prior experience in real estate. Prior to when I came into real estate, I was just busy. I was an investor too. I was buying properties here and there. Then I came in as a developer myself. I was buying like a large expanse. We sell bit by bit to people looking to invest. So I felt that I would have like submitted to people who were ahead of me early, and also I thought I would have not had a lot of challenges like I had, because trust me, it was really really a tough one. And it was the moment at which I started having conversation with those people, then I understand most of those challenges are not unique, and it's something that can be navigated. So I think that's one of the things I would have done differently.
Okay. So talking to
Yeah.
more people, having more conversations about this, mingling and networking, that's something that I've
Finding
done.
mentors I could submit to actually.
Okay. So they
Yeah,
helped a lot.
finding mentors I could submit to personally.
Okay. And do you still speak with
The
these
help,
mentors?
I mean, it saves you from a lot of scars, and also like I update on my progress and my journey. This is where I'm at. This is what I'm trying to do. This is the next thing I'm aiming at. So I have them now, and I think it makes a lot of things much more better. And also now, I think I have more friends in the industry, and having communication with them, having conversation with them, I'm able to pick stuff from them, because in the beginning it was really a loner game for me, to be honest. So now I have friends in the industry. I can listen to their own perspective. I can listen to how they are playing in their own terrain, and also I'm able to get information that can really help me, and I can put together to build stuff.
Okay. That's
Yeah,
awesome. That's really nice. I think this is one thing I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs say. You need to have a mentor. There's this thing that people say where if you want to do something better, you don't really need to make the mistake by yourself. You can learn from
sure,
someone who has already made that mistake and then
sure.
avoid it or move from there. I think this is really important in not just
Sure.
business, but every other thing that people tend to
Yeah,
do in life. Okay.
yeah.
All right. So now, there are so many real estate companies. Quite a few are popping up these days. Everywhere you look, someone is selling land, selling properties. So in this kind of market, how do you differentiate your brand from others?
Okay, thank you very much for that. I mean, it's, I play inside, and from the outside, to be honest, it's what a lot of people see. But me playing from inside, I can tell you, compared to the housing deficit we need, compared to the needs we need around houses and the likes, I really don't think there are enough real estate companies already. And I'm not going to say it's theoretical, I'm going to back it up with data. Currently, Nigeria now has an housing deficit of about 30 million, and it's growing year on year. It's compounding, right? But currently, the chunk of all those companies in a year, I really don't think they are even up to 1 million units a year. I honestly don't think it's even up to 500,000 units a year. I don't know if you get what I'm saying.
Yes, I do.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
So we have a deficit of about 30 million, and I really don't think we're even turning out up to what they call it now, up to 1 million units a year. So even if we're doing 1 million units a year, that means with the current people we have, it's gonna take us 30 years to achieve that. And don't forget why I started with that. These numbers is still compounding. So to be honest, I really don't think it's saturated yet. I really think the problem is, quite frankly, I might say probably we're not innovating enough, including myself inclusive. I'm not trying to throw attack on anybody, because I think the major issue here now is some people need to start thinking outside the box now. That how do we get into different terrain that is just apart from just side and service, that is just about building houses. And I think one of the major problems which we're having is we need a working mortgage system. So I think there are other value chains in real estate in which we're not looking at well enough yet, and that might be probably the mortgage system that needs to be very functional to afford to allow home ownership to the common Nigerians who can't pay bulk at once to get that property. So I really don't think it's saturated enough. I just think we're not innovating enough. That's the first thing, to be honest. And also, quite honestly, there are a lot of players in the industry. But like I said, don't forget what I said. I really don't think it's saturated. I think we're not innovative enough. But how do we separate ourselves? I mean, I've just come to discover one thing about life is no matter how saturated, let's even say saturated, no matter how saturated the market can seem to be, once you enter that industry, probably not because of probably not because your product is unique. Most time it has to do probably your personnel as a person, probably the personnel of the brand you're trying to build. They tend towards you in that manner. So I think one of the things we've been able to do differently is we've been able to add much more than just land this and that. We've been able to go very hard on financial education. Another thing we do differently is most time the kind of people I've sold to personally in the last 2 years are people that are into businesses. I'm able to come into their business. Oh, see, what can you do here? What can you do there? And I tell you, when you help people make a lot of money, most time to get money back from them, oh, do this, you can do this, you can do that. That is really not difficult, to be honest. Rather just being there trying to like just collect. And another thing, even for diaspora people, it's probably they have stuff they want to do back home here. We've been able to assist them with it. I mean, stuff that even outside of real estate. So being very empathetic, showing genuine concern for them to understand what exactly is the issue they are facing. I think it really helps a lot.
All right, thank you very much for that. That's really insightful. And I think I agree with you. I agree with you when you say that, the industry is not being innovative enough. There's a lot of gap that still needs to be filled in the market. Um,
Very true.
if we if we look at it now, yeah, people are selling land, people are selling houses, but not many people have keyed into the mortgage sector of real estate. It's almost rare to find one. And even when you do, people still can't afford to use the service. So there's just a problem somewhere. And with the housing
Yeah.
deficit in Nigeria currently, I think that's a part that any smart entrepreneur like yourself would be able to provide solutions. And oh, you're laughing, I'm serious. I'm very serious. So
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you when you say that. That's fine then. All right. Um,
Yeah.
so now, what advice would you have for any aspiring entrepreneur generally? What would you tell them? Anyone who's just starting the business. It doesn't even have to be real estate specifically, just people who want to build a name and a legacy for themselves.
I mean, the first advice I would always give people because I have real estate is what most people know me for, but I have a few other business I do outside of real estate, and trust me, they're doing very well. I make money off them. So I think the first advice I would give to anybody looking to get into probably you're trying to build a successful business, you're trying to do this, you're trying to do that. The first thing I always tell people is aim high, aim very big at it. Like I really don't believe in smallness, to be honest. I know sometimes some people say it's subjective, success is subjective. To some people, it might be probably they have a roof under their head. To some people, it might be. But at the end of the day, we shouldn't forget our competition is global, and the world today is a global stage. I think we forget that too easily, and we should not forget that. In as much as we want to do stuff, we want to do stuff that we can be able to compete out there with. Because the truth is, see, the big thing is not even about you now. It's not even about you being selfish. You trying to. The truth is, when you do very big stuff, I think it's in a way it has ripple effect on the economy because you're able to inspire more lives, you're able to transform more lives, you get more people into what you're doing. And at the end of the day, it blows some, which at the end of it's not even about you, it's about other people that you want to get involved in what you're doing. So I think the first thing I tell people is have a very big vision for that thing you're doing. The second thing I tell people is as much as possible, try and get ample knowledge of what you're doing. See, no matter the amount of capital you have in this world, even if you have $10 billion being handed onto you, if you don't have knowledge of how that business works, I guarantee you're going to lose that money. You're going to lose that money. Get as much knowledge about the industry you want to play in, about the market you want to play in. Because the thing at the end of the day is what will set you apart is the knowledge you have. What will be an amplifier for you is the knowledge you have, the know-how. And that was what I was thinking about how important mentorship is in the other distance. So as much as possible, get ample knowledge about what you want to do. I think the third thing you have to do is you need staying power and resilience. You need staying power and resilience. And the thing is, most things don't work out at first. And also, life is going to throw you a lot of curveballs. And also, like Shewa said initially, we play in a market that is quite different. Trust me, the terrain is very difficult. And I tell people, if you can build business here and the business do very well, I really don't think there's any part of the world where you can do business and the business will thrive. Because we're on this call, my light just went off. If I tell you how much I pay for this office that the lights went off, you'll be shocked, you'll be amazed.
Mhm.
But some of the things you have to deal with, you have to find a way to find alternative source for yourself. Why we don't have alternative backups here? Most times the light go off in a minute max, they're bringing it back. So the infrastructure is not there. Are you talking about the roads? Are you talking about insecurity? You have to do with a lot of miscreants, and you have to find a way to just settle people. So I think you have to be very, very resilient to play in business generally, not even any market. Like you have to be very resilient because most things will not work out at first. And to be honest, it's a very painful journey. So you need that resilience to believe tough times don't last, but tough people do. I think that quote is very important. A lot of people say it, but only few people practice it. So I think that's the first thing. Have a very big vision for what you want to do. Get as much knowledge about the thing you want to do. And thirdly, stay very resilient. Like be resilient and have staying power. To be honest, if you have these three things, I think you will do very well in anything you dive into.
Thank you so much. That was really beautiful. Thank you. And again,
Yeah.
I agree. This is what sets businesses that have stayed for hundreds of years apart from those who crash within the first 5 years. You know, sometimes if things are not going well, it's not enough to just, okay, close down the business and go your way. Things don't work like that. No one is going to make progress that way. The thing that sets people apart is how much faith do you have in what you're doing? How much discipline and mental strength do you have to keep up the business that you started? And another thing is, one thing I've noticed, and you can correct me if this is wrong, businesses that last more than 5 years, it's not because they kept on doing the same thing and they kept on succeeding at it. It's just about being innovative, being creative. If you see that one model is not working, it's okay to change and pivot to another thing and try it out. It doesn't take anything away from you. I don't know if this,
You're right.
I don't know if this is
You're
for
right.
Apple. I think they started off as a shoe company. This is not factual. I don't have my facts right as I'm speaking, but I know there's a company that started off as a shoe company and now
It's
they're,
even Samsung actually.
oh, it was
Samsung.
Samsung. Oh, great. So you see,
Samsung story too is very unique. Like what they started out with, what they're doing now, like way different stuff.
you
Yeah.
can imagine. You can
Way different stuff.
imagine. So yeah, just keep up with what you're doing, have faith, and you'll be fine. Thank you so much, Samuel, for this. So before you leave, before I let you go, can you just tell us a bit more about the other businesses that you're into so that our audience can maybe patronize you or even share the word with their friends and family?
One of the major ones I do is real estate, of course, which most people know me for. And why I do real estate is because one, I'm trying to help most of the lands I do. I'm trying to help. Should I even tell you the fantastic story about I going into real estate? Actually,
Yes,
I
please.
mean,
Yes, please.
can you hear me? I mean, I was going to do real estate to be honest, but I didn't know it would happen this fast. Because at least on an average, I was still doing very well. Where I was before, I was still making few millions a year, month on month in the former destination I was in before I got into real estate. But why I got into it is I was on a call with a friend. He's in the UK actually, and funny enough, we have very good relationship. Been able to build together for. In fact, it was one of the few people that dropped the paycheck when we started PropUp itself. So we were on that journey, we were on that conversation that afternoon. I was still in Ibadan then, and he was telling me about how a lot of people in the UK are frustrated. They're working very hard. They're tired. They have money saved up. They don't even know what to do with it, but they're just working, working, working. In my head, I was like, this is a mismatch. Because the truth is, I feel if they use that same money they're keeping in the bank that's not going to do anything to buy sort of property and land now, because the thing is the capital appreciation on land, you can't compare them to building. They are way different. The one on land is exponential. And I'm not saying it because I focus on land. You can do your research. I mean, Google up, check up stuffs. Then he was telling me about this, and I was like, oh, they shouldn't be. I think if they use some of those money and they can invest wisely back home here and do stuff, investment that are they are very notable and transformational, and they buy those property they keep. I really think in the next 10, 15 years, if they build that portfolio well enough and they deal with a credible company, they should be able to retire off whatever they're doing there and be able to live off that investment they've made. And to me, it made a lot of sense. So I was not like, oh, I think I can come into this. And that was that same day was when we registered the name PropUp and we kicked off stuff. That was on February 2023. And of course, it took us a while because we got our first property, like this and that. So why am I saying, like, most of the businesses I've gotten into personally is trying to see how we can like make money alongside while we're also busy impacting life. So that's why I got into real estate actually. So and also I play in the food industry, like food agriculture majorly. Majorly, I started with farm in some side of Lagos here, and as time goes on now, I'm into more of trading because the thing is, a lot of people. I think there's one important statistics. 1 in 5 African child go hungry every day because of lack of food. 1 in 5 Africans sleep hungry every day because there's no food. I mean, it made no sense to a country that has over 70% of the world arable land. So that means there's a mismatch, probably lack of productivity. I don't know. Probably the farmers are farming, they're actually doing it, but probably they are losing a lot. They are losing a lot of their harvest to post harvest loss. Probably as a result of they can't bring this thing. It might be probably because the farmers on the farm don't have enough capacity to farm and farm the food that can feed people in the city. And I tell people, if we don't solve this thing, the thing is, you would really think you're in the city, but if the farmer in the village is not farming, those people in the city are going to starve. And once they starve, it's just a matter of time. I don't think anybody can be productive or do anything without food. Of course, even if you're fasting after a few days, you have to break it. It's the truth. So I think it's
Exactly.
a very important one. So I'm doing some quite important work in agriculture that really catch my interest too. So real estate, agriculture, and also I started something in fintech recently. So those are like the three things. And the fintech of a thing, why I got into it was, I mean, Nigeria, of course, we talk about the human resources, we talk about our natural resources. But the thing is, if those resources are not well utilized, I don't think there's anything we want to do. So I think much more than the resources, I think the most important resources to me, to be honest, are the people. And if the people don't have the knowledge, so why I got into the fintech is really want to start a financial revolution whereby we can give people knowledge. Because I think the difference between a poor man and a rich man, to be honest, is the rich man has a knowledge the poor man doesn't have. Just that's one. And also, the rich man has now been able to leverage on that knowledge to get results, while the poor man has not been able to get it to use. Because the truth is, there are some people that are poor, they have the information, but they are not doing anything with it. And that's where being proactive, taking action to come into play. So I think that's the three major section I play in. One, to see how we can help Africans better their finances, to see how we can feed Africa, and also to see how we can help Africans build wealth. And of course, in real estate too, want to build functional homes for people they can live in. Because if people don't have good roofs over their head, trust me, they can't be productive. I mean, how do you expect a boy under the bridge to dream? How do you expect someone going to tussle, to stress every day to dream without a good home to get into in the night? So I think those are the things I do majorly. I think my final words will be as Africans, we have to understand we are the one that's going to build our continent. Nobody's going to do it for us. It's the truth. For a long time, Africans has complained about how things, tough things are. For a long time, we've talked about the corruption. For a long time, we've talked about insecurity. But I really feel only a few people are taking action to gear in that area of improvement to get our continent better. I'm not saying the challenges are not there, and I think we sometimes, to be honest, I really think we overemphasize on how big our challenges is. I think one thing I would really advise people to watch the men who built America. Then you know how crazy the terrain was when most of these guys built their country too. I really don't think anybody built their stuff in a good terrain. I really don't think anybody built their stuff. Their country now is their stuff when I'm referring to stuff. I don't think anybody built it under convenient conditions. So I think it will really take us as Africans to build our continent because the truth is most of the country we all aspire to go, some people built it. And if we don't settle down to build ours too, if we don't settle down to contribute, I know it's tough. I'm not saying it's not tough, but the thing is, they are non-negotiables. It's things we have to do. So it's gonna be a betrayal to a generation. And also, I really think it's gonna like just things are just gonna continue to be the way it was. And I think one major thing too that is really affecting us in this side of the world is we are really distracted with media. We're so distracted. A lot of people are not putting their heads down to work, and it's so bad. It's
I
bad.
agree. I agree.
Yeah. So it's what it is.
All right. Thank you so much for being here today. And to the audience who are going to watch this, thank you for staying with us up to this point. If you've gained value from this, please make sure to like, subscribe, and watch out for the next video. I'm going to put Samuel's contact details for his businesses in the description box, so you can always reach out to them if you have land that you'd like to buy or you'd like to invest your money, anything in any of the three areas that he has spoken about today. You can reach out to the contact details below, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.